it is. Wait, hey, we're live. We are live.
Hello, Internet.
Hey. You are watching Vaginal Fantasy Book Club. It's a romance book club where me and my lovely co-hosts, we talk about 2 books that we've read this month. Everybody wave.
Hello.
It's Bonnie Burton.
Hello.
There's me. Here. Kyla Caseby.
That's me.
She's coming to us from the set of Friends. And the lovely Veronica Belmont.
That's me.
Yeah. I'm sorry that we're starting late this month. If you
We're late this month? Oh my God!
No, you guys. I just started hanging out 20 minutes late.
I'm filling my wine glass, and just this whole bottle of wine is going
drink
to
to that.
If I am pregnant with kittens, we are all celebrating.
If you
I'm late this month.
Oh my God, that would be great. We could be in the Inquirer, and what happened to the Inquirer? Is that still out there?
Yeah, it's on the web.
Yeah.
Oh,
I used to have a subscription to Weekly World News.
You did?
Yes.
What? Really?
Yes.
Yeah, me
forever.
too.
Yeah, Mad
Me
Magazine and Weekly World News.
Yeah.
What happened? Why did you stop? Did you?
Why did I stop? That is an excellent
Probably because it went under.
Did it? Weekly World News it's not around anymore, huh?
It's not in print. It might be online, but they didn't
that's
do print
too bad.
anymore.
End of an era.
I know. I always buy
End
it for
era.
groceries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
I might have had a little crush on Bat Boy.
Actually, I saw Bat Boy the musical. An Emerson College alumni was Bat Boy, and I saw it in Boston. It was
Please tell me
excellent.
Zac Efron played Bat Boy.
No.
Oh, that would be kind of amazing.
No, but it was very good. It was a great musical.
Who played him?
Okay, Zac
can't remember
Efron
his
creeps me out.
Really?
He freaks me out.
The guy from High School Musical?
Yeah, he's too pretty.
Oh.
Yeah, some weird. Just too many pretty parts, and it ended up alien.
Yeah,
Face Crawford, the guy from Gossip Girl, he looks kind of like
yes,
that same.
or
look.
Ian Somerhalder.
Yes,
Same
they
thing.
all have that same look.
Yeah, too pretty.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think Ian was kind of born to play a vampire. I can't see him playing any. When Vampire Diaries, hopefully it'll never happen. But if Vampire Diaries ever goes under, I feel like I can't imagine him playing anything else. But
Wait,
like
wasn't he in Gossip? That movie with Lena Headey and.
Was he?
Really?
I love that movie.
All right, maybe I need to do a movie marathon of his stuff to see what else.
You need a comprehensive blog update on the career in Somerhalder.
Yeah,
That would be like something worthy of uploading.
Yeah, and I'm okay if he's not doing anything like cerebral. I'm okay with what's the opposite of cerebral? What is it when it's just chest?
Thank you, honey.
Oh look,
Oh,
Ryan.
wine delivery.
Husband
Ryan.
wine delivery. Everyone says hello. There's a dog too.
Just eat whatever you want. Just
Hi.
Yay!
Weird.
We're a little scattered. So, getting back to it, the Google Plus redesigned all the Hangout stuff, and I've done 3 Hangouts this week, and I've missed every single one of them up. So, bravo me. Whatever.
Oh yeah, should we say what this group is?
I did say it was a Vaginal Fantasy.
okay.
It's a book club. So,
okay.
all of you who are watching, we discuss a book every month. You're right. Thank you for getting us on track.
Is that
Bonnie.
Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan brought me wine, and now he left the dog in here, so I don't know anything's possible.
Can I also say that one of my 2 best bosses, Ross, he went down and got the food for me from the door, all the way down, brought it to me, and he is the most amazing ever. And I want him to eat half of it at least.
There's so many manly deliveries happening right now.
I know. Cubby, get in here. Cubby, deliver me something.
I know my dog's asleep, and she's not manly, so.
Yeah, well, you got Yoda in the background. He could do something to you.
Nah, he's just staring at the TARDIS longingly.
Oh, this is going to be a dog mess all episode. She is already all up in my grill.
Oh, but you could put the doggy in the... Yeah, why not?
I can put her in the kennel if I have to, but right now she's just
cute.
like
Let her out.
Oh, doggy
everything
prison.
in sight.
I want to, before we get into the book, guys, because we will talk about the book. First, I'm going to give a shout out to a bunch of local meetups. Vaginal Fantasy, we have a forum on Goodreads.com. We have we have 9,000 people now, and we have meetups all the time. Women and men who are in certain cities are posting local meetups or doing their own online chats like this. And I'm going to give a shout out to the UK Hangout. That is going to be this Saturday at 8:30, so you can participate. The next Beaver Dreams, which is in Canada, is online tomorrow night at 8 p.m. The Twin Cities Vaginal Fantasy Meetup was last Friday. There was also a meetup at Ottawa Comic-Con on May 10th. San Francisco meetup is next week on June 2nd at 5 p.m. And there is a Google Hangout for Australians on June 3rd at 8 p.m. And then on the 8th, the New York City meetup. Oh, no. The 8th New York City meetup is on June 22nd at 4 p.m. Oh, that's 8. They've done 8 of them. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
San Francisco's done a fair amount, too.
I have a question about that, Felicia.
What?
Is the British one, is it just they go to it, or is it a hangout, like a Google Hangout?
I believe that it's a Google Hangout. Now, I don't know if they live broadcast that or not, or it's just like
I want to crash that. Do you think they'd let me crash it? Do you think I could sneak on their Google Hangout and flirt with Brits?
I don't know. You can do whatever you want.
Okay, so if you are watching this from the UK,
send Bonnie an invite.
Send me a note on Google or email or Twitter or something.
Why just British? Like, why are you upset? Why not?
Because I'm a big Anglophile, so I know a lot about British culture, and I don't sleep, so time really doesn't really matter.
That's not good. That's not good for you. You need to sleep.
You need to sleep.
She sleeps.
Oh, okay.
Veronica knows I sleep because we were at Baycon this weekend, and we shared a room for one night, and I warned her that I snored, and I think she thought I was just being like, oh, I kind of
You told me not to talk about this on Vaginal Fantasy.
Well,
Can
no,
I just put that
like
out there that you have brought this on yourself?
I was really embarrassed by it because I would wake up periodically and she'd be staring at me and I'd be like, why is she watching me sleep? And it'd be because we were sharing a bed, and I was just like, why is she watching me sleep? That's kind of weird. And then when we got up in the morning, she was like totally tired, and she's like, you kept me up all night snoring. I wanted to smother you with a pillow. And I was like, oh, crap. Because I don't sleep with anyone but my dog, and my dog snores too. So I'm so sorry, Veronica.
And I told her I snored too. I was like, I'm a snorer because I snore a little bit. And she was like, you didn't snore at all last night. And I was like, that's because I wasn't
when I
sleeping.
say I snore, I probably, like, people probably think there's an earthquake.
So I'm so distracted by the dog. She's like, I can't, like, I'm tethered to the computer, and she's just doing things.
What is she doing?
My dog's really well
Furiously humping her bed right now. Like,
I
furiously humping.
Here. I want her to love me.
I would love for you to come love her for a while. That would be.
All right.
For people who
be
don't know
feathers
this,
everywhere,
you're training a seeing eye dog, right? You're training her.
I am raising a seeing eye dog. She will go away to her professional training when she's like a little older than a year.
Look, how old is she now?
She's 7 months.
Look, here's the thing. I love her so much.
I love her too.
Just from pictures that I am willing to blind myself.
Oh,
Well, that's extreme.
So she can be mine.
you're so
extreme.
so Victorian or Greek.
But I
tragedy.
appreciate your dedication.
What is my dog, like mud to you, Kyla? She's like asleep. She's like, if you came over here, she would just cuddle with you and you could drink wine. Like, you don't even have to be blind.
Oh, I want that too. I want all of it.
All right.
Oh,
She's what's going on now.
I think we should read,
She really is ripping up her bed. I gotta put her in the kennel. I'll be right back.
Okay. You go put her in the bed while I read the book description.
Oh,
Okay,
wait. I wanted to mention the Baycon thing real quick because they made ribbons for us.
Oh.
They made these ribbons. I don't know if that's backwards. Is that backwards in real life? I can't.
No, it looks good.
Okay. And I have a bunch, so I'll give you guys some. And then anybody who sees me at conventions, I have leftovers. So if you're a Vaginal Fantasy Book Club fan, stop me, and I might have some on me, and I will give them to you. So people watching this, if you see me at Comic-Con or VidCon this year, I'll have them with me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Those are cool. I want to redesign the logo, but I don't ever get around to it, so whatever. Okay.
My badge from Baycon.
Yeah. The thing with Baycon is they give you a bunch of ribbons, and so everybody collects as many ribbons.
Louise.
I want that.
Veronica, how many ribbons did you finally collect? 30. So
Wait.
I'll say different things.
Wait, so is the Triskaideka thing?
Triskaidekaphobia.
You pull out hair, right? Isn't that?
No,
what
it's fear of the number 13.
Oh, I don't have that.
But you pull out hair?
No. Look at my asparagus.
Hello, your pee is gonna smell funny later.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna read the description of the book, and then we're gonna go down what we're drinking tonight, and then what we thought of the book. Okay.
Okay.
Now, our main pick this month was it was actually Kyla's theme month, and she picked the author Kresley Cole. Yay. So we read a main book and an alt pick by her. The main book was a very adult book. And then the alt book was a young adult book that she wrote. So we'll be going primarily over the main book. We'll definitely touch upon the alt.
You want to see the cover?
Yes. So hold up the cover as I read the description.
Okay.
Shadow's Claim, The Dossians, #1. Okay, The Dossians, a new paranormal romance collection following the royal bloodline of the Dossia, a vampire kingdom hidden within the lore of the Immortals After Dark, her other series. Shadow's Claim features Prince Trehan, a ruthless master assassin who will do anything to possess Bettina, his beautiful sorceress mate, even competing for her hand in a blood sport tournament to the death. Okay, that's basically it. So... Guys, let's go down the line and say what we're drinking tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And what we thought of the book. Bonnie, do you want to go first?
I'm drinking the cheapest red wine they had at my corner store. Moto's Liberty, which is a guy on a motorbike. And it's a cab. And it's in a giant wine glass, the one I got at Target. And this is a whole bottle of wine in one glass.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So I'm going to say a sentence about this book that I think Felicia mentioned earlier when we were emailing each other about it, and it sums it up. And it's not a bad word. It's not a bad word.
Well, it's a kind of bad word. If you are sensitive tonight, I
won't say it. I'll say the slang for it. That's not dirty. Okay, we ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
So much man essence.
Oh,
yeah.
you mean semen.
I don't know. I wanted to say what I wanted to say, but you're like, don't be dirty. So
semen is a clinical science term.
Yeah, science.
Lots of
She's nodding her head at us.
Lots of milkshake.
Does not approve.
Is that a bad word?
Man shake. A lot of man shake.
Man shake. Lots of man.
Oh God, you guys! I can't
Yeah, their milkshake.
Oh, get the blusher meter ready. Get the blusher meter ready.
Hold up. Their milkshake
brings
all the bones to the
Oh, we both did the same joke at the same time, but yours was better because you said the boneyard.
Yeah. See,
that was better.
Guys, I can't do this tonight. I'm really flushed right now.
I told everyone on Twitter, all of Twitter, that the blushometer, the Felicia Day blushometer will be broken because of this one book. I think this is dirtier than the Cthulhu erotica. I'm just saying.
Whatever.
Oh, way dirtier. This is the dirtiest book we've read.
And Felicia introduced me to Cressley Cole, so I'm just going to say that.
You think that's the dirtiest book we've read? Really?
It's pretty.
What do you think is? Do you think there's dirtier?
Oh, golly.
As far as like sex per page.
As far as graphicness with the
I'm trying to think, man. That's a good question.
Like, not only could I picture what was going on, I could color it in.
Yeah, I liked this one. Although it's not my turn, but I'm gonna.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'm trying to let other people talk more, so I'll come back to what I thought more of. But that's my initial response.
So basically, did you like the book, or in general?
Of course, I like the book. Are you kidding? Thumbs up. All limbs up.
Guys, okay, I'm gonna go quickly. I think I don't even have much else to say. There's just things in this book.
What are you drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking sherry because since I was going to act like an old woman during this whole hangout, because I cannot even not. I mean, my cheeks are hot. I can't even talk about this book without I was astonished at things that I was like, oh. Primarily, it was just messy. There was man milkshake in way too many places.
From their bones.
Oh, God, guys.
Cushiel's Dart. Okay, Cushiel's Dart was a little sexier.
Not as bad.
Not graphic.
I felt like if I was one of these characters in this book, or a few of these characters in this book, I'd have a lot of paper towels on hand.
Oh.
They didn't have paper towels back then. Well, I don't know. They had
just towels.
It's confusing. It's confusing because they could watch Glee, but they didn't have paper towels. So I understand.
I'm just glad there weren't any dogs around to lick stuff up. Or...
Oh no! Stop! Oh my God! Okay. Anyway, moving on. Kyla, what did I would say that other than that, my primary problem with Kresley Cole in general is that her world building is not. I mean, I think it's fun, but it's certainly, I just like really deep world building.
Yeah.
And some of the things, she uses a little bit too much casual terminology in her books, which are fun worlds, that it takes me out of it. That's my only criticism, really. I think it was fun.
Yeah,
like the
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's interesting because that's what my mom says about Tyrion on the Game of Thrones show on HBO.
Really?
She says Tyrion talks too modern.
Yeah.
No, that his word like choice of words is too modern.
I agree.
That's interesting. Yeah, so that's the only thing. That's the only negative thing I can say. I mean, listen, it's a really fun book, and then I think this author particularly is very graphic in her description of the naughty bits. So if that's your thing, this is definitely a well-written example of that. That's what I will say. Kyla?
Oh, okay. So what I'm drinking. I'm drinking some whiskey with, it had a lot of ice in it, but then it melted. So it looks like a lot more whiskey, but it's actually a lot of water in there. And then sipping on a beer, which is which is an Apocalypse IPA, which I thought was very fitting for our alt book.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so obviously, I have a thing about Cressy Cole in that the first book that I read, I was like, yeah, this is really super hot, but it's making me really uncomfortable because it's pretty rapey and very, just very forceful and aggressive, and it's this aggressive, passive thing that is kind of it's rapey. So then I was like, I'm not going to read these anymore. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll try it again because I wanted to hear more about the sex. So I tried it again, and then I actually started to get into some of her other worlds. Even though they're not the best written books ever, and I actually get very upset when she drags in this kind of slang,
yes,
or
that's the thing that irritates me.
Yeah, it's pretty irritating. I don't like it. I don't like her talking about playing video games in a way where people don't actually talk about playing video games that way, and that kind of thing. I get really annoyed. But I really enjoy her world building in, I love the Valkyries. I love this whole idea that they're working towards an ascension, and everybody's got to choose a side. And yet they're still totally romance books, but they're not just romance books. They're like porn romance books. And so they're like candy to me. I really like it. So that's how I felt.
No, it's good. That's a good summary. Veronica, what'd you think?
I loved both of them, and I actually thought that I disagree with the two of you a little bit in that I thought that the modern references worked well because she kind of wove that into the storyline by saying Bettina, she spent a lot of time in the human world, and she was kind of a child of both places, and so she brings these modern
for her character, yeah.
I mean, these are the only two books of hers that I've read. So I don't really have a wide breadth of knowledge to pull from here. But in this particular case, I actually liked some of the, talking about the rave scene and talking about, like she would just throw out a word here and there and I'd be like, oh, that's funny. Like, oh, that's kind of funny. Right. Especially with the juxtaposition of the very medieval, very demonic kind of world that she was
and then the dead mouse ticket.
Yes, that was hilarious. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, it was good.
So stuff like that I liked, and I kind of liked the difference between the two books that we picked because one being so clearly a young adult novel and the other being so clearly on the other end of that spectrum. When she did write romance in Poison Princess, it felt, I was waiting for it to get a little bit more and a little bit more, be a little more common. And I'm like, wait a second, this girl's 17. Like, it really, it shouldn't get much hotter than where it is right now. And I thought she wrote a 17-year-old very realistically in a lot of ways, especially her reactions towards romance and being in high school. And so I thought, I think this is going to be a new author I'm going to really enjoy. I actually went to go look for the second Poison Princess book, and it's not out yet until October.
I know.
So I tried to read the next one. And I actually went to the next in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series instead.
She's Cressy Cole's also on Twitter.
Okay. She's very excited that we're reading these books.
Yeah, so I gave a little shout out to her earlier on Twitter, but I don't know what it is, but I love following authors on Twitter that I'm like really into their books because then I can fan out a little bit about them. But also, are really accessible. So it's one of the best things.
Especially lady authors. And I feel like I found a real friendship with Deanna Rabel, which is just something that I never would have expected and is very special to me. So anyway, I feel kind of the same way with Cressley Cole. It's like, oh my God, I could be friends with you.
I had to actually hold off on stalking Anne Rice the minute Anne Rice got on Twitter. Because she would do these tours. She used to do these little videos on YouTube wherever she was doing book tours. And when she was in San Francisco, I was like, oh my God, I have to find where she is. And then I realized this is bad. I need to not, because I'll be that creepy fan photobombing in the background. I just can't do that.
Actually, I have to say the only thing I don't like about the book, about Shadow's Claim, is the cover. Because if you don't look at the cover closely, or if you're looking at a low-res version of the cover, it looks like Trehan has like this long, super long beard.
Let's
it's
see.
a shadow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't
Breaking
like that.
Yeah, but for some reason, the first time I saw the cover, I was like, that's not how I pictured him at all.
No,
Yeah.
that's like,
Oh my God, he does. He has like ZZ Top beard.
or like in Primus or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like young ZZ Top.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really have a beard at all. He just has like scruff on his face.
It does
but
look
the
like
shadow
young ZZ
is
Top. You're
oddly
bringing the cover
drawn.
for me.
Yeah.
Now I
Sorry.
totally weird.
I can't unsee it now that I've seen it that way.
Oh.
Cannot unsee.
He's got an Amish beard on. I see it now too.
Yeah.
I'm thankful
Look,
that I have the
everyone
Kindle.
see it. Amish beard.
Oh,
Just go look
God.
at pictures of what's
Benedict
his name?
Cumberbatch.
Jack from Poison Princess.
Yes.
He's
You know what?
Benedict,
You know,
whatever.
Todd, I actually learned a long time ago. I just never could look at the covers of books, especially the Eye of the World books. But because Rand always looks short, you're supposed to be tall. But also, but I did like the Poison Princess cover.
Oh yeah.
I liked
Yes.
I'll show you.
it. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
See.
It looks like a CW show.
Yeah.
It does look like a CW show. They don't look
probably
7.
why I liked it.
They look 27 if they're a day.
Oh no! But the best part is he's on a motorcycle on the back.
Yeah.
Where? I don't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, on the back. Oh wait, let
Yeah,
me see.
see?
Ooh.
Yeah, dangerous.
I have a thing for Cajun accents. Like
You like Gambit?
Yeah.
Really?
Gambit was my favorite forever.
Me
Gambit
too,
was my
me
favorite.
too.
He's so
What
sexy.
happened to the Gambit movie? That was the one good thing about that Wolverine movie.
I know.
Yeah.
I wanted that too. I wanted that so bad. And a Deadpool movie that actually made sense would be nice. That would be
Yeah. Okay, wait, giving back. Okay, so we'll get to
Okay,
Poison
back.
Princess. Let's talk about Shadow's Claim a little bit. Although we did on Twitter have a couple of volunteer people who said, I think Pleasure Unbound by Larissa Ione was definitely dirtier.
Oh
He
yeah.
said.
Really? Oh.
And
Wait,
then,
was that T-Rex?
No.
no, that was Nita Banks. Pleasure Unbound was the one where she was the nurse or the hospital, the doctor
Yeah.
in the hospital.
Oh, that was pretty dirty. Yeah.
That was pretty dirty.
That was
Oh,
pretty
I
dirty.
couldn't
That
think-
first scene when they're on the hospital bed,
Oh yeah.
that rivaled this first scene, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, there's spurting jets of semen. Like literally, that's a line in this. Which
How come you got to say that? I wanted to say that. You got all blushy Felicia Day.
I'm
fan
sorry.
herself.
And then she's
can't
just,
help it, I was
and then
so
she's just
upset
like spurting jets of semen.
Yeah, you just said that without flinching, Felicia. You were such a faker.
No, I'm not. I'm blushing right now. I'm hot. I was just got upset because I'm like, who would write that?
So if you want to
I
hashtag
would.
this episode so much semen,
No, God. Whatever. We're going to have to do NSFW at the top. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
semen's not a bad word. It's a clinical term.
It is.
Sure it is.
We
Let's call
are
Know
talking
your
about
body
health.
fluids, Felicia. Know your body fluids.
All right.
Those are not her body fluids.
Okay,
Wow.
let's move on. Amy from the forum says, do you like it when the heroine is... in general, we had very mixed bag on this review. Don't you think? It was like a lot of people really loved it and a lot of people...
But did we
did-
all like it? I mean, did we all across the board like this book?
I mean, I'm just on the fence about this. This author and Sherilyn Kenyon, they're like guilty pleasure, and I occasionally love. I just have to be in the mood for them. You just have to know you're going in. It's what the tone is, and be in the mood for that. And I think that this book, especially, is I enjoyed it a lot more than her earlier books, which, like Kyla said, have like much like rapier heroines.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
heroes.
I mean,
She's like, you're mine, and you don't have a choice. Like that.
Yeah.
It tended to be more like that in the
Well,
past.
here's the thing. And I do want to bring this up because I do try to bring things like this up occasionally so it doesn't just seem like I'm oversexed, but actually have some sort of moral compass and feminism left in me somewhere. That first sex scene wasn't consent. I mean,
No, it wasn't.
here's the thing. When you're drunk, you're not really giving full consent.
Oh yeah, no.
And she thought it was Cat.
She thought it was Cat.
Or was
but
in love
he didn't know that until like
it
the
wasn't
very
Cat
end.
Wait, let me finish. What my point is when you're drunk and the other person isn't, and clearly in that first scene he was naive enough, or the Prince of Shadow was naive enough to think she was talking about him even though they had never met. The guy had a big enough ego to think, oh my God, this woman just wants me right now for no apparent reason even though she didn't meet me before now.
But his heart started pumping for the first time in 900 years.
Yeah, let's be honest. When you don't have sex for 900 years, your judgment might be slightly clouded. I'm just gonna go there.
But he also truly believed that she was into him. She didn't know that it was somebody else.
But really, I mean, I don't know. Even though he hasn't had sex in 900 years, can't be that stupid.
I'm gonna side with Kyla on this one. I did not get a rapey vibe on this one.
I think the author made it really clear that she was impaired and she was under the impression, fully consenting, that to set the scene up. Basically, this girl drugs herself with this special magical thing that she will seduce this guy she's been in love with for a long time.
Beer.
Yeah, demon wine.
It wasn't wine. It was demon beer that she said tastes like
demon brew. Didn't they call it demon brew?
Demon brew. Yeah.
So she was totally drunk and sleeping, and then this new assassin guy comes in, and she's all into him. She's like, "Oh, you're the one," and then they start making out, and he's like,
she doesn't know it's him.
She doesn't know it's him. She thinks it's the guy she was setting out to seduce, and it's really dark. And this new guy.
This happens all the time.
Thinks it's his because his heart starts pumping after 900 years.
How many times has this happened to one of us? Does this happen to you?
No.
I missed it.
But I wouldn't judge a woman for that happening. And I would absolutely be like, okay, this is going to be very violating for you because you thought this was something else.
And he stopped when he realized she didn't think it was him.
Yeah, he's not a jerk.
But I honestly think that was an ego thing. I think he was like, wait a minute, I thought you were into me. But he did stop. And he would never hurt her. He was a vampire. He could have bit her and he didn't. I mean, there's lots of things he didn't do, and I give him credit for that. But there's that old romantic gesture of manners that if the girl is drunk and the guy is not, the guy shouldn't go for it.
Did he know she was drunk? He didn't know she was drunk because it was really dark. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's a morally ambiguous setup by the author, but not the characters.
All right. Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I know what you're saying. I
don't know. I guess it's one of those things when you're the reader and you know all the stuff that's going around the scene, but one character knows only part of the information and the other character only knows part of the information.
Yeah.
You really feel icked. I feel really icked out by that scene, but I know both characters didn't quite because they didn't have all the info. So personally, I felt kind of icked out, even though it was a hot sex scene.
Yeah.
It was still kind of like, wait a minute.
I was uncomfortable with it but you know what's funny is I was uncomfortable with it because it felt like I actually, and normally, I'm super feminist, but I actually felt bad for him because he thought that she was so into him.
I felt bad for him
he was like, oh, this is my love, and this is my woman forever, and she's feeling the same way for me. And then, oh God, he finds out.
He's so stoked. He is like,
it's heartbreaking.
It is kind of sad because I don't feel like he ever gets to casually date. There's no friends with benefits with this guy.
I don't think I get to casually do anything.
And
he said when he was younger he used to have sex with other things, and it was never, it was kind of like he never really got it. Like it's fine, whatever.
That's before their heart stops, right? Like they
before their heart stops. But Kellyanne and Sarah from the comments said he thought she knew who he was because she was a sorcerer and had a vision of him coming.
So literally,
he was a
literally coming.
No, Bonnie. Not this time.
I feel like with that kind of vampire, what do they call it? Not the horde, the opposite, the
Dracian.
How do we pronounce this?
Yeah, I feel like they're like the Amish ones that they get to go on their rum spring.
Stiltskin.
They go to go on their Rumpelstiltskin, and they so they're on their Rumpelstiltskin, and
Rumstein.
Do we have some sort of like bell?
They get to they're on their Rumpelstiltskin, and they get to weave their gold and out of straw, and they just get to do. They get to Rumstein.
No one else knows Rumstein.
So they get to do that.
I can't be the voice of reason in this episode.
Oh, jeez.
Don't make me the sober one.
Anyway, so I feel like that's what they get to do, and then
you know what? I feel bad because I when he described his life, I realized that my life is like his, where I just kind of don't do anything and read books most of my time, and so I felt like this a kinship to him, because when you finally find someone that you're attracted to and you actually want to be with, if you've had a very long dry spell, you do kind of get over emotional. You do kind of get jealous for no reason. Mm-hmm. You do kind of get over infatuated a bit, and you do kind of get unreasonable. And so I could relate to that. I didn't have a 900-year drought, but close. So I get it. But at the same time, it was very, I don't know, I really was drawn to him as a character because of all the books. I don't know if you could tell, but yeah, that means something to me. Yeah. I don't know why. When we read that dragon book and he had the big library, I was all excited about that too.
Yeah, that was cool. Let's talk about what a jerk Cass was.
You know what?
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, let's go. Yeah, let's talk about Cass. So basically, Bettina, the main character, so the plot is that basically there's this this whole, everybody's fighting to the death, and whoever wins gets this chick's hand. And she's been in love with this other demon since she was a child, but he won't have anything to do with her. But then it ends up, this guy she's been in love with, Cass, and her Prince of Shadows, this guy Trehan, they go at it, and they're kind of like the leaders in the fight to the death.
But also, keep in mind, it's not just for her hand, it's for her kingdom.
For her kingdom.
So you have a lot of bad dates involved. Like, you have a lot of, like, worst date possible.
Bless you. Thanks.
Bless you. You have a lot of guys competing for her hand that he wouldn't even date. Like, what was, like, they described some of them, like, one of the guy's skin, he like, exudes pus. And like
it's gross.
Monsters, the pus demons. Gross.
Yeah, and another one's like half snake, where she's gonna have to feed her skin to their young, and then the other one's a troll that's like not even like anatomically correct.
And the primordial.
I mean, it's like bad date. It's like
800
this whole
feet tall.
Yeah, this whole thing is like bad date kingdom.
Yeah,
it's like mystery date to the death. It's
horrible. Horrible options.
No,
so anyway, she has this guy who she wants to marry and have basically the guy she wants to seduce, so he'll deflower her so she doesn't have to do this whole rigmarole of everybody fighting to the death. He won't have anything to do with her. He goes off and has lots of women on the side. So the whole
sex.
Yeah, and I'm just like, he was a jerk, and I'm like, you are a dumb girl. This guy is not for you.
Yeah.
Clearly,
one of those.
Think of her like a sister, and you can't do that. You can't force some guy who thinks of you as he's Luke, you're Leia. You can't make that happen. That's just wrong.
I mean, but haven't we all been through something?
Yeah, we have.
Especially at that age. I mean, not necessarily that exact same thing, but definitely liking somebody who doesn't like you as much as you like them.
And you don't have to raise your hands. I will. Many of us have like tried to get someone intoxicated, so they'll slightly maybe mess up and kiss you by accident. I've done that.
What? Many of us? What?
I haven't dosed anyone. I would never drug anyone, but I've often like invited someone over and said, "Here, I have this. Oh, look, I have so much wine. You need to drink this because I can't drink it by myself."
Let's talk about our feelings and just drink this wine.
Yeah, what's going on with you?
Let me look in your eyes and then look at your lips.
Yeah. Hey, look, I have a Connect game station. Play some games and get drunk, and who knows what might happen.
Yeah, no, that's not okay, though.
I've got some Twister. Let's play some Twister.
Yeah, right.
Is that your move? Veronica, Twister. Let's come over.
Twister. Let's come over.
I've seen Veronica play Twister. She gets brutal.
You
what
have
about you guys?
actually seen me play Twister, weirdly enough.
It's at VidCon.
At VidCon.
It's like Hunger Games with you. Like
Yeah.
you would do it to the death.
I don't know.
I don't like competing.
My
'cause I want
move,
to win.
my move is mostly just. I assume we're just gonna be friends forever, and then I'll make a lot of eye contact, and then we do it.
Wow.
Seems to work out. So.
What's your move? What's your move, Felicia? Let's hear it. We're sharing.
My move?
Yeah, what's your move? Like if you want to get in and let a guy know that you like him.
Felicia doesn't.
What was your signature move in college? Let's say what was it in college?
Yeah,
I was always unattainable. I was always like
In college?
yes.
Really?
I'm very strange.
Well,
No, you're not strange.
I
mean,
I'm just too super awkward. I can't even talk about this. Amy asked.
well, no. The reason I bring this up is because the main character in this book is college age. She's a virgin. Yeah. Even though she went to college, she clearly has zero game. And so I think that some of us can relate to this because when I was that age, I think when I was 22, I was mostly after brooding.
Veronica is like
types.
She's like shaking her head. Her ponytail is going a mile a minute. She was definitely attainable.
No! I was like the super. So there's a story that my girlfriends tell to this day, like 12 years later, being like, okay, so there was this guy and he was turbo hot. And I had just gotten out of a relationship, and my best friend was like really trying to seal this deal, like to get me to stay over at this guy's place. And I was so frozen with fear that I almost started crying and made her like take me home. I liked this guy and I thought he was really cute. And I was just like, he's too hot. He's too hot. I can't do, he's too hot. I have to go. I gotta get out of here. And she couldn't even, I made her leave the party.
I've been there.
That was very close to my overall experience in college.
Wait, you know what? There is a certain guy or girl, depending on your, what you're into, but there is a certain kind of person that's too hot to think that you could ever approach them or you could ever talk to them like a normal person. And so I totally understand that. Because there's always that crush where you're like, they're not human. They're too pretty.
It's too
they never sweat. They never look like they're upset. Whatever. So, yeah.
You know what's funny, though, is that I always have like an immediate reaction when I see that. When there's somebody that is so attractive in that way, that I'm actually not attracted to them.
Really? Okay. No,
yeah, I'm nothing. I got nothing for him. I just, I want him to be attractive to me in a way. I don't know. There's like a give and take. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I shut down when someone's too hot like that. Like Felicia.
Yeah.
Felicia knows.
Let's talk about the book.
Yeah.
Something really good about the two characters in the book that I wanted to bring up, and we talk
about Bettina and her virginity because a lot of people on the forums, Amy, in fact, I'm reading a list of questions that I pulled from the forums.
I wanted to talk about this too.
Did you like when the heroine is a virgin? I find it hard to believe that all these virgins are having good sex after the first time and just bored with virgins in general.
I agree. First time sex is the worst, so I don't know where all these virgins are having awesome sex, but I'm not buying it at all.
That's just romance novels. I know, but ever happen in real life.
There should be all kinds of wrong happening.
It should always be. Wait.
She almost had sex with the wrong person. That could have gone pretty wrong.
That's true. Close enough. Whatever.
Doesn't that usually happen? Like, what was the last one that we read where like he had to do it to her right away and then show the sheets?
What was that? That
was Outlander.
That was the Scottish one. Yeah.
Outlander or the other one?
No, the other.
With the kilt guy.
It was a Highlander-ish one.
We're in love with
one of those antique ones. Those antique books.
But it was definitely the norm. Like this hurts. This is God. And then women are like, this is not how. This doesn't feel good. Why would I ever want to do this again?
Yeah,
right. That happens in Dragon Riders Pern too.
Does it really?
Oh,
I forgot about that.
When Lessa has sex for the first time, it's terrible, and she's like, I'm not interested in that again.
Get that.
I love that book.
That, I'm going gay.
I forgot that book. When's the last time you read that book?
We just read it for Sword and Laser a couple months ago.
Oh, wow.
Reread Dragonflight. Yeah, it was.
It's such a great book.
It is. It's pretty for being written by a female author. I mean, it's pretty in its time because it's still kind of misogynist. It's
well, that's
true.
It's a good point.
Yeah. Anne McCaffrey finds her feminism a little bit later in the series.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too literal. I don't like virgin books. I don't like books with virgins in them. It's not that I have anything against virgins. It's totally fine to be a virgin, and more power to you for being picky, because you should, because as Alicia Silverstone said in Clueless, you saw how picky I am with my shoes. Mm-hmm. Imagine how picky I should be with guys. You know, it's like, come on, totally. You should be picky. You're right.
Yeah, I like it. I like it when it's about yourself, when it's about protecting yourself and knowing what you need to make yourself feel safe.
Yeah.
And because you know it might hurt or whatever, and you're scared. So I like it when it's about that, and I like to remember that.
I don't think guys really want to be the one that deflower you, because then you imprint on them. It's almost like a Wookiee life debt. I mean,
I don't think that's absolutely true, because I've had different experiences.
Yeah, because I had the reverse happen. I accidentally deflowered some guy in college, and this is why I don't date younger than me, is because I don't have, well, hopefully that never happens again, because then I think it might be illegal. But yeah, I try not to do that, but I did that in college, and he was picking out China patterns. I was like, dude, no.
Oh.
No.
That's another interesting question that was on the forums. I forget by who, but
get back to that.
Like if a guy, you know, you see most of the romance novels are a guy pursuing a girl. Even in this instance, it wasn't like too over the top, but he literally, I highlighted a lot of, you are mine, and I'm here to take what's mine, what belongs to me. And I was like, hello? Excuse me.
It's always the mine. Why is that?
Yeah. So, but if a girl, let's reverse the scenario. I thought this was a really interesting comment. Let's say it's an older woman who's pursuing a guy who is innocent and like, I've never seen the world and stuff.
Yeah.
Is there any book out there like that?
No,
and B, would anybody want to read that book?
I feel like that needs to be said. And you know, the funny thing is, it turns into one of those like Fatal Attraction situations where the woman, if she acts like that, it's like the crazy one-night stand girl. You know what I mean?
A girl can't go after a guy that focused, or she's crazy.
She's crazy. I think she's automatically deemed crazy as opposed to just dominant. I think that's... I don't know. I'm sure it's in some bondage.
But they always give these guys an excuse because, like, his heart started beating, so he's totally justified because she's the only one for him. But what about a girl going through the same thing? What if it was a girl Dacian whose heart started racing?
Honestly, when you really read this book, you kind of think they're both virgins, because there's that born-again virgin situation where if you don't have sex for a really long time, you're kind of deemed a virgin again. I remember that being like a thing. Like if you have like, if you abstain from sex for like a long time, then you have sex again. And by a long time, I mean like 10 years or more, and then you have sex again, or maybe 5 years. I don't know. It depends on what you think.
No. But Bonnie, I agree with you, because it's been like hundreds of years since he had sex, because so
they're both virgins.
He had no feelings, and then suddenly this person made everything start working again, right? And so he
maybe they're both virgins.
Lost his virginity together.
No, Veronica.
Doesn't count.
Okay, well, it's not painful for him.
I'm not saying it counts. It's never painful for the dude, maybe emotionally.
Yeah, well,
I think that's
something.
What?
But that is something, though, right? Emotionally?
Well, I guess.
Maybe. Well, I mean, no. It would be if we didn't live in a society where males were that they controlled everything. So
they don't.
They
don't control everything. Have you been on a date lately? It's like we know when we're gonna have sex and when we're not. That's kind of true. When you go on a date with a girl, she knows right away if she's gonna have sex with you. Guys have no idea.
I don't mean about the sex. I just mean about everything.
Oh, right. Sorry.
I mean about their beliefs, their white male privilege is what I'm talking about. They're just...
I'm so glad we're finally using...
Or like demon male privilege.
Demon male privilege is definitely not the same as being a virgin.
No, let's get off on the track. I agree that there are a lot of stereotypes that for some reason women seems to buy in these types of books, and I don't know whether to argue that there's something biological going on or it's just like the stereotypes that I don't think it is. I think it's just the stereotypes that these books fall into character-wise, and that's why it's so fun to see a book that doesn't fall in those. But I just want to talk about the world building a little.
Yeah.
What the heck? His homeland had blood fountains?
Yeah.
How is that possible? Wouldn't that congeal after a while?
No, you can thin it out with water. Wait, why do I know this? Why do I know this? Sorry. Goth talk. This is now, vaginal fantasy is now turned into goth talk.
I just found it to be really unappetizing.
No, you can thin out blood.
Felicia, here's what I'm thinking. Like, because I keep kind of like comparing it to Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
And so I would not have wanted to live in his world. I don't know that I would have wanted to live in her worworld either.
No,
but I feel like, couldn't they just go live in High Garden? Because I want to live in High Garden. No one.
How are we on High Garden? I'm confused.
Wait,
where did that come from? I lost the train of thought.
I was comparing it to Game of Thrones, and I'm saying that like I feel like High Garden is like the best place to live.
That would be the only place you want to live in.
Okay. To answer your question, Felicia, you can thin out blood with water, and it would be fine. I just, they're vampires, so of course blood's gonna be everywhere. Personally, as a human, I would think that world smells like crazy bad.
It's supposed to be awful smelling.
It's like worse than mouse in the wall.
That's why it's so messy everywhere, this guy.
It's got to be like the worst smell ever. And so, to me, as a human, I would not want to live there. But as a vampire, it's probably Disneyland. I don't know. It's like, I think a blood fountain's a little too over the top. I feel it's a little cliche. I don't know. Do they throw pennies in and make wishes? I don't know.
That's what I'm asking. And then basically nobody could leave and nobody could come back. That way it was like a secret world. But it seemed to be an open door policy at the end. They were like, screw that thing.
That's not true because remember the guy brought in Cass. He wasn't supposed to bring in Cass.
Oh, that's true.
He had like a special deal though. He had like a vacation pass.
He had a crush on Cass. He had a crush on Cass. Honest.
That's what it was.
The reason he brought in Cass is because Cass is irresistible to women and men. So
yes,
he brought in
established.
Cass, he had a crush, and then Cass probably saw the blood fountains and said, screw this, I'm out of here, and left, and that's why, he had a bounty on his head in the first place.
Yeah.
But if you have a secret world, you're going to have stupid rules like, hey, by the way, you can't leave, and if you do leave, you have to have permission. And then if you do leave and go to other worlds, you have to be invisible, so you have to always be in misty form. Yeah. So if you go to fog planets or like Dagobah type planets, you're totally fine.
What happened? Yeah. So his power, he's not only a vampire, but he could turn into mist, which is Bram
Stoker's vampire can do that. So
vampires can do
a lot of vampire lore.
Yeah,
they stuck to. Kresley Cole did a really good job with keeping to vampire lore in the sense of you can shift into a mist, which is very Bram Stoker. Mm-hmm. So that's fine.
Can I ask that we move to Poison Princess?
Yes. Well, do we have it? Yeah, I was about to say.
I think that people really liked it a lot more than they liked.
Definitely. Let me show the cover while you read the back. Let me show the cover.
Okay, because obviously I think the fact that we're talking about all the naughty parts in this book convey that this book is primarily a naughty book. Although the world building and the characters it's not like a totally erotica book, which has no plot.
It's not like a total smut book, but I will say
it's about doing it.
Shadow's claim is good for world building and smut building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Doing like a ranking system.
Yeah, we should
like
have
the
a smut ranking system. Stories,
this would be like ranking, a world building ranking, a character ranking.
Yeah.
I would give this like a 9 in smut, a 6 in character, and maybe a 6 in world building.
That's what I would do too. That's exactly what I would do, Veronica.
Yeah,
I would too. Okay,
not to say I really liked it. I really liked it. So the score notwithstanding, I liked the book.
If you take the smut out, what would you rate the book? Like literally, if it's just like fade to black every single minute, like that's the book that's a big part of it, and it makes it what it is.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think it was enough. I think Poison Princess stands on its own much better.
Yeah.
Without as a story, including
I'm
the
just,
romance.
yeah, I'm really excited to talk about Poison Princess
Okay.
more than
Do it.
because it's a really good, because it's a really good
So
book.
I'm going to read the back of it. Let's do it. I'm going to read the back of it. Poison Princess was our alt book. It's a young adult book by the same author. 16-year-old Evangeline Green leads a charmed life until she begins experiencing horrifying hallucinations when an apocalyptic event decimates her Louisiana town. Evie realizes her hallucinations were actually visions of the future, and they're still happening. Fighting for her life and desperate for answers, she must turn to the wrong side of the bayou classmate Jack Devereaux. He's a boy like Evie's never known, with a wicked grin and a mile-long rap sheet. If he ever casts that wicked grin her way, can she resist?
Here, let's look at the bike. Let's look at the bike again.
Yeah.
Is that
I
early or
don't speak a
Indian?
word of French, and I am terrible with accents. I really wish we had someone who could do a convincing.
To be honest, I didn't even care that much about the romance. I cared so much about the world building, about that post-apocalyptic world that was based on tarot cards.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty awesome.
Let's just talk about how the Flash itself is actually a really interesting device for a post-apocalyptic world. Like, I don't really, the idea of there being a sun flare, I mean, I've heard that before, but the fact that it vaporizes like the water on the planet and, you know, basically fries everyone who is outside looking at it.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty interesting concept. I didn't really like the bagmen. I thought they kind of didn't really fit in. Like, I get it. Like, they're water obsessed and they just want all the moisture ever. But if there was that much water left in the world that they would be able to exist, it seems like things would probably not be so bad.
Yeah.
It just didn't it seemed like kind of a stretch to me. But the tarot thing was really interesting, and I loved the twist of the alternate timelines within the story. The one with Arthur that we start off with and then end up with at the end. I didn't know how that was going to come back around until, you know, I knew somehow she was privy to him. I had a sense, you know, pretty early on that she was not just a dumbass wandering into his house. But I liked how it kind of came back around and how it fit in together at the end, because it didn't happen the way I expected it to. I expected her and Jackson and the others to have headed there together and to kind of have set him up. And she didn't really set out to set him up. She went to go see if he was an ally or if he was a bad guy. And so, you know, the way they all ended up there at the end wasn't the way I expected it to happen.
Yeah, no, I thought, you know, I liked it. Again, I just felt like I wish it had gone just a little bit farther with the lore, just a little bit farther with the apocalypse. I mean, just a little bit farther. But in general, I thought it was really interesting. It was definitely a fresh take on an apocalypse scenario where the sun, like you said, it was really interesting. And I liked the cast of characters that she gathered. I'm always a little less interested in like the teen romance thing. So I didn't really love that part between them. But I did think there were some interesting pieces. I kind of wish everything had been like just a little bit pushed a little farther in, especially the lore area. But I think probably, you know, the next book is going to like make that even more mature.
That's the thing. It felt to me like a lot. I mean, especially with like the two twins that are that basically brutalized that poor Cajun girl, and you know, some of the things never really came back around again. So it left me with the sense that I was missing part of the story that would be covered later in the series, which was frustrating because that does not exist yet. And I hate when that happens.
I never do.
But it did leave more to be answered. You know, some people were complaining that she was a little bit too useless, a little bit too goody two-shoes. I always get frustrated when heroines don't realize their potential quickly enough. I get very like, just do, you know, you can do this thing, just do this thing. So that kind of drives me crazy. And like, she's like, oh, I've got these incredible powers, and am I gonna be this red witch, or what's gonna happen? I don't know. And I'm like, well, suck it up. Guess what? This is happening. Just go with it. And then she finally does. But and Jackson was interesting, but he was just a little bit too like, all right, you're the tough bad boy, blah blah.
Yeah,
blah.
that was my feeling with him. I don't know. I wasn't into him. I think he was the thing that I was like, and he toward the end he started just acting like such a jerk with the other chick. I was like, go find somebody new. That death guy looks good.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So here's
Bonnie, what did you think?
Oh yeah, Bonnie. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? When I was reading this, I know this is horrible, and I mean, no, it's not horrible. I'm gonna freaking own it. I watched so much CW
French fries.
that my spirit animal is like a 16-year-old goth girl. I'm sorry, it always will be, and so because I don't think I ever grew up, I'm always gonna love that like cliche bad boy, good girl thing. I'm always going to love that. So CW is perfect for me. So me and all the other teenage girls that love CW, and obviously, you know, Felicia, you being on Supernatural, I have to like do that.
You're on Supernatural?
When I was like
How did
watching,
you not know that?
I'm just kidding.
You're on Supernatural.
You're on TV.
you know
That's
what?
on CW, right?
When I watch shows, I'm going to tell you this, Felicia. I'm a half a bottle of wine in, so I have to admit this. So when I watch a hell of a lot of television. When I watch television shows and they get boring to me, all I keep thinking is, God, you know what would make the show great is if they just added one today.
Oh, so usually your thing is if they just add a werewolf.
I watch everything from Scandal to Nashville to Vampire Diaries to Supernatural to Arrow. Beauty and the every time I watch Beauty and the Beast, I'm like, can Felicia Day please come on as like an extra, like romantic, like red herring, redhead.
That's very nice. I would love to be a zombie. I would love to be a zombie on Walking Dead. That's the only one I would be.
Oh
Like.
my God! I want
yes.
Felicia Day to be the redhead herring and everything.
I have a thing to admit, actually, and do not take this the wrong way.
No, say
When
it.
Felicia's on a show, it makes me kind of uncomfortable.
Me too! I'm so glad you said that. Like, I'm afraid to watch it.
In a really good way. I just like, I know you. Like, I don't know why. It's because it's you. Because it's my friend.
I know
So
it's hard. When you know a lot of actors, you can't watch them because you're like, dude, I just had lunch with you.
Okay, so I know a lot of actors.
You're great. You're great in all the things. It's just freaks me out.
It's amazing, but I can't watch her because it makes me feel weird.
You know what? I will. Okay, I'm gonna admit something. I totally feel that about some of my friends that are guy actors. That if I see them in sex scenes, I feel weird because I feel like they're brothers to me. So like Milo Ventimiglia and I are friends, and so when I see him in sex scenes, I can't watch it because I look at him like a brother.
When's the last time he's been in a sex scene?
Pathology.
What's that?
Oh my God, you have to watch Pathology.
Okay.
It's a horror. Oh no, you can't watch it because
I can't watch it. I'm too
Oh,
scary.
horror film, no.
We don't like horror films.
Oh,
I'm trying to get Veronica to watch Cabin in the Woods, and she won't do it.
Oh my God, it's so good though. It's funny. It's not scary.
It's good. You have to watch Cabin in the Woods.
I think that actually Ashley had a really interesting comment on the forums, which I actually agree with now that I read it. You know, Evie went from denying her powers completely and then embraced them in 2 days.
Yeah.
That was a very
That was
accelerated learning curve on her part.
Quick. I don't think let's put it to the test. Like if you had those kind of powers, let's go down the line here.
I would have so much fun with powers, though.
Oh my God.
Like, I would, if I woke up and I had powers, I would be like, finally. And
I know,
I
I'd
would
be
be
waiting.
like,
I've been
boom.
waiting my whole life.
Let me do all the
keep in mind,
powers.
some of these take skill to like get used to. Because I think about this all the time too. I'm like, how great would it be to have powers? But I would be the person that had invisibility and that gets hit by a munibus because I forget I'm invisible. So you kind of have to be good at this.
I think Veronica, you're with me. Like, we are ready. I would get in there. I would treat it like I was a raiding. I was like, get in the backyard and master this.
Yeah,
Yep.
let me just test this smaller and bigger and bigger and bigger.
I don't know. You know what?
I got powers.
Some of us have.
I know what I'm about, son.
Some of us have all gone through our little Wicca stage. Oh my God, we lost Veronica. We lost Veronica.
What happened? Where'd Veronica go?
Why'd she leave? The dog unplugged something, maybe.
The dog. It was the dog. Veronica, are you okay?
Did you get powers, Veronica? You were like, I'm out of here.
I'm eating French fries. Is that the problem?
Yeah,
you're
that's
muted.
an awesome origin story. Oh wait, I forgot to mention the book. So what I was leading up to which was I watched so much CW shows that when I was reading this book, I saw this as a CW show, and so I read it like a script and not like a book. So I kind of gave it a pass on a lot of things based on me thinking it should be a CW
show. Veronica, is your mic on just to test it?
Yes. Okay. It muted me when I came back in, but I'm back
Okay,
now.
I just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Did you... Oh, we didn't do casting for the first one.
Oh, God.
No, they were upset about
casting.
that.
Okay, let's do casting for the last one, and then we'll do casting for the one. We'll keep talking about it.
On Shadow's Claim first.
For Shadow's Claim, a lot of people said Emilia Clarke, which I thought was interesting.
Who's that?
She plays Daenerys.
Okay.
Yeah. In Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Or Natalie Dormer from Game of Thrones, or Anna Kendrick, which I don't know about that one.
No, Natalie Dormer's too, like...
Well, I like Anna Kendrick as a person. I really like her.
Okay.
Like, have you read her Twitter? She's
hilarious.
Yeah.
She's basically like your little soulmate, Kyla.
Yeah.
I think you guys should be pals.
That's how I feel. Thank you.
Natalie Dormer?
No, Anna Kendrick.
No, Anna Kendrick.
Oh, yeah.
What did you guys pick for casting? I want to know.
I don't do that.
Trehan was Jason Momoa and Henry Cavill.
Jason Momoa? No.
That was a big suggestion on the forums, but I think Henry Cavill is a good one.
Okay.
I just want to look like the guy on the cover without the beard.
Do you want to know mine?
Beard, the Amish beard?
Yeah. I want to know.
Okay, so Trehan. Am I pronouncing that right?
I don't know.
Trehan.
Trehan Solo.
I think it's Trehan.
No.
Trehan?
Yeah, Trehan.
Trehan.
On Twitter, she probably solved this for us. Okay, so I'm just going to say Trehan. Obviously, you guys can freaking guess who I'm going to say.
You're going to say the same
Benedict Cumberbatch. No.
It doesn't work. Okay, based on his description, I'm going with Benedict Cumberbatch as in Star Trek. So when he's all beefed up, because in Star Trek, he put on a lot of muscle.
I liked him thinner. I have to say
I know, me too. I like him thin and breakable. You know this. But in this book, the way they describe him is that he's almost as muscular as Cass. So I'm going to say Benedict Cumberbatch from Star Trek, from when he had all the weight, when he did all the weightlifting and stuff.
Ooh, I got one.
And then I'm going to say Cass, honestly, because I was watching so much Star Trek, because I've watched this show so many times, this movie so many times. I'm going to say Chris Pine.
Oh, I'm going to flip it and reverse it. And I'm going to say Zachary Quinto a la Sylar from Heroes as Trehan.
Okay.
Oh, he's so gay. Well, he's gay, so I can't feel. Which is awesome. I can't have a lot of. I don't. But I don't have a lot of heterosexual give it.
I've had so many gay boy crushes that it doesn't matter if they're gay. It's still
do terrible things to him.
I totally understand that. I just don't get the gay. I don't have gay crushes.
It's a perfect example of a gay guy that I have a super duper crush on that I know he will never go there. Is John Barrowman.
Oh yeah. Well, he's very. Yes.
Yeah.
He's
I don't know
gay.
if I see him as Trehan because he doesn't seem like an assassin, but I think he's very cute.
So hot. So hot.
But someone else being gay has never stopped me from feeling any way about them.
Yeah, me neither.
No.
I
just don't.
Because all of my feelings are so impossible towards everyone.
Yeah, me too.
It just doesn't. It doesn't effing matter.
I guess for me, it's just that because I just know that there's no pheromone.
So you need there to be like a chance. You need the chemical thing.
Yeah, let's be honest. I am never getting with Benedict Cumberbatch. He's probably got some sort of restraining order.
He definitely does.
Laser cap
restraining order.
So it's not going to happen. So I don't care about the possibilities. It's just pure shallowness. And are they hot? I go for it.
I like Chris Pine as Cass, though. I like that.
Okay, thank you.
Good idea.
Yeah, Chris Pine as Cass. I like that one too. Actually.
Yeah, and then is Bethany. By the way, I could not call her Tina. It's not that I have anything against the name Tina, but because I watch so much Bob's Burgers. When I hear the name Tina.
To me, she was kind of like the girl in Vampire Diaries, but I just, I can't say that I liked Bettina as a character. I didn't like Evie much more, although Evie was a little more plucky. I don't know. Both of them, I felt like you need to get your stuff together.
You need to grow up.
Yeah, I have a hard time. You know what's weird is I have a hard time casting characters that I don't like. So I didn't really like Evie, so it was hard for me to cast her.
I didn't really like Evie that much, but I actually kind of liked Bettina.
Yeah.
She made her jewelry, her like murder jewelry.
Yes, her murder jewelry with the like.
I thought it was kind of badass.
I do have a casting pick for Salem.
Who?
Tom Link.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Wait,
Oh my
the
God,
cat
that'd be
from
great.
Bewit, the cat from
Buffy,
Sabrina.
from Buffy, and from Cabin in the Woods, if you freaking watch it, Veronica, and also other stuff.
You know
Well,
Tom
Salem was
Link?
the cat on
Tom
Sabrina
Link.
the Teenage
No,
Witch.
Salem in Shadow's Claim.
No, you know Tom, he was on Buffy. He was one of the nemesis of Buffy that was in charge of, like, the van. Remember the guys that had the Star Wars van?
I think Veronica knows who Tom Link is. I think she.
You know who Tom Link is. And he played piano when Veronica played violin for the 4th of July.
I'm Veronica. She's Felicia.
Yeah.
Get it right or pay the price.
Wait, I just said that. Veronica knows who Tom Link is. I don't think that Veronica knows who
I've
Salem.
met him in person.
Hey.
Okay.
My spirit animal is not a goth girl. My spirit animal is Tom Link. I'm just going to say.
But how did you think of? Okay, so what about going back to Poison Princess? Because we have to revisit a couple of things about the lore and that as well. What did you think about casting for that? Because I felt like maybe a young Ryan Gosling for the Cajun guy.
Oh my God, yes.
No.
Who does Veronica have? What do you have?
I don't do this. I can't do this. I can't do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in my brain.
Come on.
No, I make up faces. There's not. I'm sorry. You guys know this. I tell you this every month. I don't do it.
I'm going to say this right now. Let's do not shame anyone who doesn't do casting because I think
it's okay, Veronica. I'm gonna look. I'll read you what the forum said.
I have other kinds of info.
It was very noble
other
to
input.
not cast.
Jared Leto for Jackson.
Gross.
No.
Maybe circa like what 95? Like sure.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Are we calling it my so-called life, Jared Leto, or
like
now Jared?
loaded in eyeliner
My
now.
so-called Poison Princess.
My so-called.
I don't know. What about Blake Lively for Evie? I thought that was very apropos.
Oh,
Too old.
yeah, I could be into that.
Too worldly looking. Nope.
Who?
Needs to be fresher faced.
Who?
Blake Lively is not fresh faced
Oh,
enough
no.
these days.
No,
She's too worldly.
Well, I mean, maybe Blake Lively first year of Gossip Girl.
Yeah, first year.
No.
No. Oh, okay. Have you guys watched Gossip Girl? Remember where they have like the cousin who they don't know if she's actually like related and the other
weird cousin?
Yes, and she works at the thing for a second and then moves in with him.
I'm gonna say something real effing weird.
Do it.
You guys are just gonna have to go with me on this one.
Okay. Say it.
Roll with it. Just think of
going.
the accent. Just think of her without her current hairdo, and just try to visualize.
Is it Meryl Streep?
No. No.
Meryl Streep from Sophie.
Think about it. Just think about it for a minute. Miley Cyrus.
Mm.
Oh,
give her
that's
some
good.
longer, curlier hair.
Really?
Yes,
think
I
about
got
it
that.
in the part. All right, I've got one of you. That's all I need.
I love you. I love you, Veronica, but I can't. Miley Cyrus has that, like, she's just like
let's do it this way.
Think of her dressed in a different way with, like, longer, curly, wavy hair.
Okay, so
she
Felicia.
has open mouth all the time. She's like,
Felicia.
What?
Could you in the book for A Poison Princess, when they describe the main characters, is there a description somewhere that you could read?
Is there a description of the main characters? I just remember that Jackson was dark and brooding, and she was blonde and looked like a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh crap.
So like Hayden Panettiere would.
I was just gonna say that.
I don't like Hayden. No, I mean, as a person, I'm sure she's a lovely lady, but she has a giant head and a little tiny body in it.
Wait, who does?
She's really
Hayden
short.
Panettiere.
Oh,
she's good.
I'm just gonna say this right now. Hayden is almost like Hayden, and this is the thing you find out when you meet people for the first time that are actors.
Mm-hmm.
She's so much shorter than you think she's going to be, and she's tiny.
Always.
Bree could be tiny too. Or what's her name? What's her face?
Brie
What's the
Graham.
character's name?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking
Evie.
Brie Graham.
Maybe.
I don't know. I kind of just wanted her to be like one of those like pretty blonde girls that you like are in high school with that are like really nice and smart, and you know maybe they're rounder, maybe they're less round, maybe it doesn't matter what their body looks like.
Has curves. Hayden has curves. She's not
but it doesn't matter what their body looks like. Doesn't matter the stuff. It's just like she's blonde and she's charismatic. And
who else did we pick for Jack?
Feel like that.
I think it's hilarious that we're all slightly drunk right now.
I'm excited.
Me and Veronica are totally like laid back, sleepy drunks, and then you guys get more talkative and more big.
This used to be a whole bottle of wine. I'm
like angry drunk. I'm like, no, you listen to me.
I know, Colin, you're like the opposite. You're so outgoing. And I'm just sleepy. I'm just kind of like, oh, what's this over here?
I'm not reading
really
Facebook.
Upset about in these books is there's not more redheads, and I think you should be upset too, Felicia Day.
Well, there are plenty of
redheads represented in the books that we're reading right now.
It's true. Kresley Cole is a blonde. I do notice that. A lot of other fantasy novelists always have a redheaded lead, which is very common. But Kresley Cole in specific, she always loves the blonde.
Here's the thing about Kresley Cole. I love her writing, but man, if she does not look like a sorority girl. And it's so funny because part of me is like really not. I try not to judge people about how they look.
Oh, she's a blonde for reals.
She is super pretty and super. You know, she was a cheerleader. You know, she was homecoming queen.
Well, you don't know that.
Like, I want them to be like dark and brooding. Like Nina Bangs is not like mall queen. So I don't know. Part of me is like, I don't want to judge the author.
Don't hate just because she's blonde.
I don't want to hate. She's very, very pretty, but I'm just saying that the goth in me has problems with blondes.
What's this Immortal After Dark series?
That's the one. That's the naughty one. That's the naughty one.
So good.
I just found this. Should I read this?
You should read them.
Not really?
I'm gonna buy the first one. Can we read these next?
Read it.
The guy is very forceful. It's over the line. Like
bad.
He's like.
When are we gonna read, Bonnie? What are the ones I want to read?
So when we were in, we did a vaginal fantasy panel at BayCon this weekend. And we had a couple people in the audience that were telling us books to read that are super dirty. So I don't know if we're ever going to read these. But
tell me the ones that I'm supposed to read about the elves and the orgies.
Well, it was the Mary Gentry.
No.
What? There were other ones?
The author with the elves and the Felicia, and the Felicia's always like.
You mean like Laurel K. Hamilton?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Why won't Felicia let me read the elf orgies?
We have to get this. We have to get this sorted because this was brought up multiple times.
Why we don't do 50 Shades of Grey or Laurel Hamilton?
No. 50 Shades of Grey isn't paranormal or anything sci-fi. It's just bondage. But I'm saying, there's Anne Rice who does like a bondage of like fables type thing. Yeah. And then you have, because it's like a Sleeping Beauty bondage thing. And then we've got fae sex. We haven't done fae sex or mermaid sex yet, which is a good thing.
We're doing fae sex next month. We're doing elves and fae next month.
Okay.
I will announce it in about 5 minutes when we're done.
Okay. And then what was some of the other things, Felicia, Veronica, that we're talking about? We're talking about Laura K. Hamilton, because I know that you were against it because you thought it was just vampire orgies right and left.
Well, the thing about the Anita Blake series that I loved the first 4, and I thought Jean-Claude was in my top 5 of fictional 5 always. And then it went off the rails, and there were way too many people participating in Anita's nether regions.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I felt like the guy who I really liked, the lead character, was just Jean-Claude was just stripped of his masculinity. Right. Fine, everybody enter here, I was just like, how are you okay with this, Jean-Claude? So that was a disappointing thing there. The fairy book is interesting. We could do that 1 month, not next month, but down the line.
I think at some point, because this is brought up quite a bit on Goodreads, it's brought up every time I do a panel about vaginal fantasy, is that people bring up Laurel K. Hamilton. So I think at some point we do need to read those books, but we don't need to do it right away. But like
in a couple months. Sure. Well, next time you have a book pick, you can pick them.
Yeah, like in the future, I might pick an Anita Blake. But
okay, that's fine.
Oh.
I mean, I think it's cool, and I
what
think
you're
a
talking
lot of
about,
people might find it.
talking about something else.
Also,
Well-
Jessica Kidder on the Twitters shows Jennifer Lawrence as a good Evie.
Oh,
And
that
she
is
looks
good.
pretty good. She looks
so
pretty
good.
Oh my
good.
god, that would be
Can I
amazing.
say that,
I dig it.
you know, it's very
Yeah.
few times that actresses make me love them more when they're just themselves. And Jennifer Lawrence is one of those people that I'm not a big fan of the Hunger Games. And
Yeah,
I know it's awkward. I know it's awkward to admit, but I'm not one
even
of
the
those.
books or just the movies?
I love the book. You know, the books are great and the movie's great, but
Yeah.
I wasn't like an uber fan. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And when I got to know Jennifer Lawrence as an actress, like through interviews and just her being herself, I actually liked it more because of her side of like her press junket interviews are genius because they're constantly asking her about her dress and she's like, I had to not eat cheeseburgers for a week for this. I'm eating cheeseburgers now. Like
Yeah, she's like, I don't know, it's a top and
I
then
know, and
there's
she's
a
like, you're
skirt.
only applauding because I fell on stage. You know, she's very self-deprecating, but in an honest way, not in a I'm fishing for compliments way.
She's
and
awesome.
She's
she's
pretty
awesome.
cool.
And it's very, now when I watch Hunger Games, I'm like, I am team Jennifer Lawrence because I love her as a person.
No, she's great.
Yeah,
She's great.
she's
Now,
so cool.
can we just close out just a little bit of talking about the apocalypse? And guys, if you had a couple extra questions, post them in the YouTube chat so we can pick them up just before we wrap up because we start late. But did anybody read Why the Last Man? The comic book series?
Yes. Brian K. Vaughan.
Isn't it
I love
interesting?
that.
You have these two apocalypses. So basically, Why the Last Man by Brian K. Vaughan. All the men disappear overnight on the planet, and basically there's one guy left, and it's kind of his journey through this new world. And like to me, I always felt like that was a cool series, but there was something weird about the fact that women just kind of turned into barbarians so quickly. The same thing was this. It's like I would think if there was a practical apocalypse, it would take several months for people to turn into the way that the guys were in this world after like 2 or 3, like
I don't think so at all. I think people turn quickly. People turn quickly when there's a massive emergency or massive stress or massive anything that happens.
Yeah.
People turn quick. I mean, the reason I loved Why Last Man, and if you guys haven't read Why Last Man, the comic book series, you should totally read it before they destroy it with a movie. And the reason I love that is because, it's funny because I have such a weird connection to this situation because I've written an anti-bullying book for girls called Girls Against Girls. And when I read this book, when I read Why the Last Man, I was like, yes, girls are going to be like this. There's going to be girls that are awesome that are running an organic farm and they're totally like with nature and they're like totally supportive. And then there's going to be these bitches that literally are just go alpha girl and cut off one boob and do the whole Amazon, thing. And they're going to be horrible, and they're going to be mean girl central.
Did you just say cut off a boob?
I said boob.
I was just reading about this the other night today. I was reading about how the myth of the Amazon was like, and because basically in order to pull the arrow back, like this gets in the way if you got a big boob.
It's in the way.
Same with golf.
If Hunger Games was accurate, Jennifer Lawrence would have only one boob.
Did you? I'm sorry, Bonnie, but did
Yeah.
you guys see? Did you see Blindness with Julianne Moore?
I love that movie. Love that movie.
Basically, I mean, it's just everything that happens when society breaks down. It breaks down within days.
Yes.
And
Yes.
And that is what's terrifying.
Yes. And that's what's terrifying to me.
Well, and that's where zombie movies come from.
Yes.
It's the same thing. It's the same.
It's not going to be gradual. It's going to be immediate. It's not going to be gradual. And I know this sounds horrifying, but people are going to revert back to the worst either heroics or the worst possible, part of humanity very quickly. It's not going to be like a gradual thing. And that's why I just feel, I don't know. I know it's horrible to admit, but Why Last Man, I think, is very accurate, and I think there's going to be a lot of mean girls in charge, and that are going to be horrifying.
There's going to be a lot of mean people in charge.
And it's going to be horrifying. And when you have to survive,
you guys saw The Road.
There's going to be a lot of, there's that moral
read The Road.
Read The Road. Both terrible.
I will not watch The Road. I will read The Road.
Katie Braves in the chat also says that it was longer in the book than it felt. They were in hiding for months, that she thought. So, okay. And then, oh, hey, Veronica, before we leave, somebody also said that the Sword and Laser anthology is going to be a huge hit. Have we ever thought of that? Can you talk about what you're doing over at Sword and Laser?
Yeah.
And for everybody who doesn't know what Sword and Laser is, say what it is and then talk about the anthology.
Sure. So Sword and Laser is my sci-fi fantasy book club that I co-host with Tom Merritt, and we've been doing it for the past, like 5 or 6 years now. And we are putting out a book anthology. We just finished taking submissions this past March, and so we're going to be reading through all of those submissions up until early fall, I'm guessing, and we have thousands of submissions. And so we're going to be publishing a book. It's going to be half sci-fi, half fantasy, all original work, newly written for the anthology. So we have hopefully an artist we're working with to do a limited edition print run for hardcovers. It's going to be, I want it to be a reversible cover. So on one side it's the fantasy cover, and the other side it's the sci-fi cover, and you flip them to read through.
Yeah.
But it's going to be awesome, and I'm so excited that people were willing to work on new material for us, and I feel really honored to get to read all of that. So it's
awesome.
It's going to be a big deal. I'm really stoked.
And then somebody on our forums asked us if we're planning on doing something like that in the future for our thing. I don't know. Maybe we should do something for NaNoWriMo.
Well, I don't know if you know this, Veronica, but I'm actually writing a romance right now. And just just for fun. I mean, strictly just for fun. I'm not even thinking this is going to end up as anything. Cthulhu is in it for anybody that's asking.
Nice.
But I will make it available for free, obviously for you guys to read, but for anyone watching to read as well, just for fun. Because I don't write a lot of fiction. I mostly write nonfiction, kids' books, ironically, as I drink wine. But
you're an adult.
I know.
You're making the kids drink
children's
wine.
writers who's always drunk.
But I think it'll be fun, like maybe just as an experiment, like once we finish the Sword and Laser anthology, once we kind of get down the pattern of how it works and see how it happened and kind of have that as a starting point, maybe we should do a vaginal fantasy one.
Yeah, that would be super
really fun.
I think we should definitely do NaNoWriMo this year.
NaNoWriMo.
This
will be a good practice.
We have a lot of creative writing actually on our forums.
Totally.
Taste a lot of it, and especially.
Well, also, Felicia, don't you have a vlogger on one of your new vlogger series?
Yes, Nika.
Yeah, Nika does stuff all about writing. So
yeah, so we can maybe have her help coordinate everything on her forum or something. I don't know. Let's figure it out. But thank you for your suggestion, and please check out on Veronica's Twitter to see when the Sword and Laser anthology is out.
Yeah, it's not going to be until well into 2014. So
and can I
say something?
Yes, Kyla.
Well, so Veronica and I are we're working on it, like doing a video game show together.
Very cool.
Yeah, like this forum, but with friends or anybody in the video game industry that we think would be awesome interviewing. Talk about indie games. Talk about regular games.
Cool.
It's just something that we're thinking about doing.
Great.
We need help with names, though. So if any of you guys out there can help us think of names, that would be awesome, because that is the hardest part.
It's the hardest part.
And Bonnie, do you have anything you want to point out?
I think I'm supposed to be doing a guest vlog for your vlogger channel, so I'm going to be doing that this week. I think I'm shooting.
Oh yeah, for next Tuesday. We have, if you guys haven't checked out the vlogging channel, we have 7 permanent vloggers over there, and we're going to be adding a couple more and 10 more at the end of the summer that you guys have applied to be. But we have a guest vlogger spot that I did today, and then Bonnie's going to do. I think you're doing next week.
I think I'm doing next week. Yeah,
Yay.
so I'm supposed to be shooting that. And then as far as like future projects, it's I'm writing like I think 2 different books right now that I can't really talk about, but they're nonfiction. It's gonna be probably crafts.
Yeah.
But I will stress that if you guys subscribe to SFX magazine, which is a British magazine, I do a Geek Girl culture column in there every week. So I think the next one's on how to survive Comic-Con. which is coming up in July. I will give you a tip right now for any convention, actually, which is just follow the goth kids because they know where the shade is and where the loud noises aren't. Like, you need to know your goths, and then that way you can survive any convention because you know where it's quiet. There might be some clove cigarette smell, but you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah. So I don't think I have anything else planned. I think we're all going to be hopefully at VidCon. Is that right? That's coming.
Yes, and we're still working out with Comic-Con who's down there and what's going on. I don't know. We'll just follow us on Twitter.
By the way, can I say I love the show that you're doing with your brother about video games.
Thank you.
But I have to recommend a video game, and I keep recommending this, but I know you think I'm joking. It's the Murder, She Wrote video game. It's not a joke.
Is it a two-player? Is it a two-player?
It is.
Really?
Well, I don't know. Can't you guys just take turns?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe later down the line. I want to do two players for a while.
It's Murder, She Wrote. I want to see you guys solve a murder.
Yeah, why can't you bring back Carmen Sandiego?
I love Carmen Sandiego. That was my favorite.
Or Midnight Mansion.
That would be amazing.
Maniac Mansion would be great.
Maniac Mansion. Was it Midnight Mansion? Was it Maniac or Midnight?
Maniac. That was a good one too.
Game. So Maniac and Day of the Tentacle. I'm telling you, either one of those. I'm just putting in my vote. I have a slight crush on your brother.
Oh, please, let's stop.
Anyway, wait. I have one more thing, because I have a thing.
Okay, good.
My own thing. So I started writing for MTV Geek.
Yay!
Yay! And I have my own column, and it is called Girlfriend Mode.
Yay!
Because that's funny. And and so I'm doing that weekly, and I talk about video games. Sometimes write about lady issues, but mostly it's just I am a lady, and I play video games. And I'm going to write about stuff, and it's super funny, and it's awesome, and it's an MTV multiplayer. So
Woo! That's awesome. All right, you guys, so the next Vaginal Fantasy Hangout, just go to the forums because we have some really, really interesting discussions on the forums for all of our books. Unfortunately, sometimes we digress a little bit, so we have very insightful people who say things about the books even more than we do because we're a little inebriated by the end.
So,
but our next... What was that face?
Before Let me just say one thing. I'm going to be in Hawaii on the 25th, so can we do it a different day?
Oh, okay. We'll pick another.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was.
Wait, is this your honeymoon?
I honestly thought we were just being like,
I need to GTFO out of the world.
Okay.
So maybe the 2nd?
Yeah. So we'll figure out what date. Okay, so guys, tune in. We might shift the Vaginal Fantasy date. Just check the forum. But the books are going to be. And I hope they're different enough from this month, but I really like these books. We're doing Elves and Fae. So we're doing The Fire Lord's Lover by Catherine Kennedy. And our alt book is Lords of the Fading Lands by C.L. Wilson.
Which one's hotter?
Well, the main pick has more... I don't want this to turn into like a smutty fest, but yes, it has a lot more smut in it.
Okay, the main one.
Has a lot more smut in it, but I really liked the alt. It was a very romance-heavy but very epic fantasy, and I really liked it, and it was fun. So I think everybody's going to enjoy these. I hope you do, guys, too. Pick them up and read along with us, and go to the Goodreads forum to join in. All right? See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.
Bye.
Goodbye.